welcome back. You're watching HCTV Takeover live here from Herkimer College. I'm Patrick Malowski. I'm an alumni of Herkimer College. And again, we're coming to you live tonight from the TV production facilities here at the campus. And HCTV Takeover is showing how students who went through the program are now out in the communications field doing what they learned right here at the college. And that's why we're going to dive right back into it. We've been talking to multiple guests tonight, kind of sharing their experiences and talking about the program. So right now we're going to switch it over. We're going to highlight the digital filmmaking program. And right now Colleen Chupka is live with a student in our Avid Lab here at the college. And Colleen is going to talk to her about a project that they worked on. Colleen?
Thanks, Pat. I'm here with Haley Kromick, an alumni from Herkimer College. And we just watched you on the film, The Duel, presented by Mr. Gassmann. But you haven't just acted in films, you've also made excellent projects, like the music video we're about to see. So can you take me through the experience of editing this music video? Like, how long did it take?
It took a while, just because I really like editing. That's my favorite part of the whole production in general. I don't know, I guess I started out with like a lot of shots put together, and I kind of just started cutting away at everything and really making sure everything was in sync with the music, because it's like a really fast-paced, ongoing, kind of heavier type of music. They play metal. It's really awesome, but it allowed me to really be creative with like what shots I chose and just how I went about it. So
did you face any challenges while you were editing this video?
I think the most challenging part was me being shy and not asking for enough help in the production part of it, because when I was actually filming them, it was just me. And I wish I had somebody over my shoulder just kind of talking about, I don't know, giving me pointers. Because one of the things I noticed was not having enough light, and to this day I'm still just like, oh my gosh. I wish there was more light, and I wish there was somebody over my shoulder kind of with a bird's eye view kind of giving me advice.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at what you have. And what is the music video called?
It's called Collisions.
Collisions? All right. excellent music video done right here in this Avid studio. Do you have any words to tell filmmakers that are upcoming here?
I guess like as fun as the actual production part of it, I don't know, I guess editing is like super important, and plus you get to be in a little quiet editing studio all by yourself listening to the song over and over and over, and it gets drilled into your brain, but you end up with something very nice and you can be proud of at the end. So,
well, thank you so much for your time. And back to Pat in the studio.
And thank you, Colleen, for that. Haley's video is a great example of just how much work it takes to put together an effective production. It takes hours and hours and hours. And another production that takes a good deal of time here at Herkimer College is HCTV News. Not many people know that better than myself and Melissa Kroll. Melissa actually took it a step further, and she had a goal to do, it was every single day of the last week of the semester you did a newscast, correct?
Something like that.
Something like that. And actually,
team effort, though.
Team effort. But that team effort turned into award-winning newscasts. And let's take a look at that right now.
HCTV News recently won top honors in 2 categories in the College Contest category for the Associated Press New York State Broadcasters Association Awards. HCTV News now holds the first place awards for Best Regularly Scheduled Newscast and Best News Story in the recent competition. In the spring semester of 2014, HCTV News ran live every day during the last week of classes. Former student Melissa Kroll recently moved on from working at local TV station WUTR to a new job as a video journalist for Time Warner Cable News in Utica. Speaking recently from the WUTR studios, she says that producing the daily newscast at Herkimer presented significant challenges above the usual weekly live newscast.
Every day it was like you were looking for something new, because every day you're thinking, okay, what can I grab? What can I do? What do I have time for? Do I have time to edit this? Can I write this? Is this newsworthy? Maybe this isn't newsworthy. Honestly, I miss that so much, because being a student there and doing that, we had so much control over the productions. And I feel very blessed to have been able to produce a couple of them, let alone anchor them. That was really cool too.
Kroll says a big challenge was creating content that was worthy of coverage during the daily production of the newscast.
One of the things for me that I learned was how challenging it could be when you have a slow day, when there's really not very many good stories out there, and to actually have to search, or sometimes even not really make one up, but find something that you can talk about that people will actually care about. Just trying to find stories that matter.
Mark Baracco, another former Herkimer student, works as a reporter at local ABC affiliate WUTR. Mark was involved in the first AP award-winning HCTV News crew in 2012. Baracco says he would not have been able to do many of the assignments as a reporter at WUTR without the training he received at the college. Baracco won an AP Award Special Mention for Best News Story for his coverage of the shootings in Herkimer in 2012.
There is no word on how soon Main Street will be reopened to the public, as the crime scenes in Mohawk and Herkimer are still under investigation.
Melissa says the daily rush of live news at Herkimer College absolutely translates to her current day-to-day work at Time Warner Cable News.
I'd have to get dressed during lunch and do all my makeup then, and literally I ran from class there because of the time, the deadline, and doing that every day was really cool, because it reminded me so much of my actual job. It felt real.
Melissa says that her balancing act of classwork and daily live news at Herkimer was occasionally a challenge, but it was also enjoyable.
After a whole day of classes, sometimes, your mind is elsewhere, and so to focus on the news can be a challenge, but it was fun. It was really fun, and I'm just speechless that it was award-winning fun.
Award-winning fun, you said. So
Yeah.
Tell me, you can't imagine it was award-winning fun. When you won that award, what did it mean to you to bring that home to the college?
Oh man, that meant a lot. That was a very rough, very difficult year for me, and I kind of made it, my mentality was go big or go home. As cliche as that sounds, that was what I wanted to do my final semester at Herkimer, and I loved the college so much, and I learned so much here, And I don't even really remember how the live newscast idea every day for a week came about, but I just remember talking with Flanagan about it. And at first I was like, oh yeah, like that'd be cool if we could do it. And then we did it, and then we won. I was like, what? And yeah, no, it was fun, and yeah, it was a team effort. So I mean, there should be a bunch of other people here talking, including Mr. Flanagan.
And what's amazing about that team effort is a lot of these faces are here tonight, and these faces are now working in the industry, and that's amazing. I know, you know, you and I are both gainfully employed in the industry, which is wonderful.
Yes.
You know, Mark Baracca, who you just saw, he is here tonight. You're going to hear from him a little bit later. And it's just wonderful to see these faces and hear these voices. And, you know, did you ever think we would all make it this way? Actually be gainfully employed when we were in college like that?
I thought that for you guys. I never thought that for myself. And I could go, you know, you could whip out your violin and I could tell you all about high school and all that. And I had teachers laugh at me when I told them I wanted to go into TV. And so I guess even winning that award, it was like, there were a whole bunch of emotions I was feeling because it was just like a whole bunch of things going on up here. But it was just amazing, and I'm still kind of speechless about it.
And what was nice about it is doing news here, it slowed down the process for us. So you started with 1 day a week, and you have professors who walk you through it step by step. So when you're out of the school, you know every single aspect of the newscast, and that is so important to have. I mean, how has that helped you being a reporter in the field?
Oh yeah, well, you know, Zanetta earlier in the program, she mentioned Miss Carol, and I gotta say, she helped me out a lot too. And I'm sure if she's watching, she's like, Melissa, why are you wearing black? But because we went through this whole like colors at work and all this type of thing. But I just really like this dress, Miss Carol. But anyway, she helped me out a lot with just how to be calm on air, and then also just from doing HCTV News, I learned a lot from Mr. Flanagan just about news in general and how to do stories and writing and things like that. And obviously with Mr. Gassmann and Mr. Sokoloff, you know, it was like I need all these professors to make me who I am.
Every single one of them. And it was great when you got all of them together. Mr. Flanagan right now is the man behind the curtain of all this. He's actually directing the show, which is very interesting. I can hear him already. I can hear him right now from it. But you know, doing every single role, I mean, you can say you reported here, anchored here. Not just that, you've directed a newscast. You've produced a newscast. I mean, what else have you done behind the scenes? How many things that you've done that you've been able to take into your career?
And same with you. And same with the people behind the cameras right now, the people in the control room right now, and the people you can't see on camera who are getting ready to be on camera. We're all trying out new things, and you know, it's a good way to just feel your way, because even if you don't like what you're doing, or maybe you're just not good at what you're doing, you'll learn and you'll know, so you won't apply for a job, get it, and then realize, oh, now I'm stuck.
I like to refer to Herkimer as a gem because I feel like, you know, you hear of the big journalism schools and they're great, you know, they're wonderful, but, you know, Herkimer is an affordable school that you can go to. It is local, right in your backyard, and, you know, for proving, you know, you and I are proof, we are churning out journalists here at the school, and we are churning out professionals. And I mean, like I said, you know, we were talking about Mark Baracca, who's a familiar face, and we're going to talk to in a little bit, but, you know, to turn on the news and to see Mark's face, or to turn on the radio and hear the voices of people who I heard on WVHC. This is one. It's just wonderful.
Well, Genesee Joe Trizzolino, and I know Brett Hall is here too, and Zanetta, obviously, and a whole bunch of people. I mean, you could literally just name out a whole bunch of people who are working in TV, working in radio. Maybe it's computer, just media stuff, or music stuff. I mean, it's a little bit of everything.
Exactly. And I know the beauty of it was a lot of the students who went on to get four-year degrees, they were able to seamlessly transfer into their four-year degrees, and they got out in 4 years, and that really worked out well for me. I know it worked out well for a lot of other people. And my roommate, Josh Martin, and a good friend of mine, Kate Randall, both gainfully employed. We're going to talk to them a little bit later. But right now, we're going to switch the subjects. We're going to turn it over to an even cooler subject than news, in my opinion. We're going to talk about music and a wonderful opportunity there is here at the college for students to express themselves. Bridget Roberts has more on that. Bridget.
I'm Bridget Roberts, here with Krista Music. Krista runs the college bookstore here at Herkimer College, and she's working with the Communication Arts Music Club, along with some of our faculty, to come up with yet another activity for students to get involved here on campus. Now, Krista, I know that the bookstore is a not-for-profit agency, but a lot of students don't know this. Can you explain a little bit what the bookstore does?
Well, the bookstore is run by the Faculty Student Association, and what we do is, after the bills are paid, our profits go to things such as student activities, the clubs and organizations. We help pay for athletics, we pay for the shuttle bus, and other things on campus that the college can't pay for, such as the branding initiative or renovations to the library.
And I know that we just started the bookstore open mic night, and I got to jam out a little bit there the other night. That was a blast. Can you give students a little bit of information?
Well, our next is December 7th, and Doug Flanagan helps me with that. And what it is just an opportunity for the students to come out, and it's just been amazing to see how many students on campus, how talented they truly are, whether it be through poetry, instrumental, or singing, or just doing karaoke. It's been a great time.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much for coming out tonight with us, Krista. If you're ready for your time in the spotlight, the final open mic night for the semester is Monday, December 7th at the College Bookstore. Sign up with Krista in the bookstore for your spot on the roster. The bookstore open mic night will return next semester, too. We've heard from several former students who've gone on to make a career in media right here in Central New York after their time at Herkimer. My HCTV News co-anchor Jack Sen is up next with another one. You're watching the HCTV Takeover live from Herkimer College.
Hello, Jack Sen here, and we're talking with WIBX 950 AM News Director Jim Rondinelli. Jim, thanks for coming up the hill tonight. You got your start here at Herkimer College, am I correct?
Yes, I did. First, thanks for inviting me, and so far what I've seen from this whole venture here is really great. You've been doing a great job. I can't wait to stick around and watch more of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I graduated from here a long time ago, class of 1980, so it's been a while.
So what made you decide that you wanted to go into this field in radio?
I guess I was always one of those, I guess we'll call them radio geeks when I was a kid, like 10 or 11 years old. I would listen to every station. I was the annoying kid that would call up the disc jockey all the time, and just was always fascinated with radio and just the people on the radio. I never really wanted to get into news first. I always wanted to be a DJ, which I did when I first started. But after a while, I figured I think I like news a little bit more. But I was always a radio. I knew like when I was 12 years old that I wanted to do this.
Huh. So what is a normal day of being a news director like?
Well, normal day is, that's the good thing about this, there's never really a normal day.
Oh, yeah.
There are some days,
definitely.
and you know this, where it could be a quiet day where you're in the newsroom by yourself, and then like this, I'll hack and break loose, and then it becomes a news team, a 10, 12, 14-hour day, depending on the situation. So that's one of the great things about doing radio news. It's never the same. You never know what kind of day it's going to be.
Definitely. So how did your experience here at Herkimer College, how did that prepare you for your career once you stepped into the field of radio?
Yeah, one of the biggest things, and I think when you come here, is the hands-on experience that you get.
Definitely.
There are a lot of bigger colleges where they've got all this great equipment, all these great facilities, but you can't touch, you just look.
Yeah.
And it's hands-on here, and I think the biggest thing that prepared me here for my career was the college radio station.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it's much different than it was now. It was in a little closet in the college center, and it broadcast just closed circuit inside that one building, and now of course it goes out over the airwaves.
Yep.
But that was, I think, the biggest thing, getting involved in radio and that radio station, doing a little bit of everything to really help prepare me.
Definitely, yeah. So what was the workflow like when you were in your classes for like a typical audio project? What was that like?
It wasn't too bad. When I was here, it wasn't as advanced video-wise as it is now, so it was more on audio, and I was more into audio. But it was, it was a lot of work, but it was fun work to do, and you always had a partner to do it with. But I always enjoyed doing all the audio projects.
Definitely.
And that helped too, getting in there and editing. And of course, we used to edit back in those days. And with the tapes and editing with a razor blade.
Yeah. We learned about that in my class.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you're also on the advisory committee here. So what is it like helping out at the school that really kind of launched your career?
Well, it's really strange, because if you had told me, 25, 30 years ago that I would be back here on the advisory committee, I would have said, no, you're crazy. But it's great because I get to stay in touch with the college even more.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm in the area anyway, but now I get to learn some of the behind the scenes things that are going on here during the meetings and stuff. So it's really great to keep in touch and learn what's going on here at the college as it grows.
Definitely. So along with being a news director, you're also a co-host of the CNY Travel Show. So how did that idea come about?
Well, that's actually a show that is produced by Town Square Media, WIBX's parent station, and we got together with Kelly Blazowski from Bonita County Tourism when she took over the job. I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago. Had done a similar show in Ohio where she came from, and she said, "Hey, it would be good to maybe we can do it here." And we got talking and sort of hooked up. We've been doing it for a while now. It's really fun. We bring in she's the primary host, but I'll sort of co-host with her. Yeah. And we also have a third co-host too, and we'll just talk about things happening in all around the area when it comes to tourism, places to visit for vacation. So that's a fun show. We do that once a week.
Yeah. So Jim, thanks so much for being a part of our show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was great, and I'm going to stick around and watch some more because it's been great so far.
Yep. Well, you're going to like this. We're going to keep it in radio for now.
Excellent.
Up next, we're going to peek into our studio where I believe Eric Lanza is going to be hosting a show at WVHC 91.5 FM.
Sir. I'm Robert Ruffle. I'm also a Herkimer College alumni.
When did you graduate, Robert?
This past summer semester.
Don't worry, we're not in the church. You can leave your hat on.
There's no judgment.
He just.
That's okay.
It was funny. He walked in. He took his hat off.
I'm a little warm.
Like
I'm participating in No Shave November, so it's getting a little warm in here.
No, it's just because I'm in here.
No.
No. Okay.
Sweater's coming off.
Oh man, it's game time.
Absolutely. So, what was your major here in
I was
Herkimer?
a social sciences major. I don't really have anything to do with this, though. The girl you just interviewed, Haley, she got interviewed about a music video that she took of my band.
Oh, you're in the band.
Yeah.
What's the band?
SCIO. The band. I'm in two bands actually, but that's the one that she filmed was us. SCIO. SCIO.
SCIO. Okay.
No,
so,
it is not an acronym. A lot of people see the name, they're like, "What does that stand for?" And no.
It's just a name.
Space Cadets in Orbit. You can make up something crazy. I've had people say crazier things to me, but.
All right. So, what kind of music do you play?
Distasteful music.
Not the type of music we can play on the radio.
No, probably not. I mean, it doesn't have vocals or anything, but it's probably, I don't know. It's not the norm, I guess.
What genre would you consider it?
Extreme metal.
Extreme metal.
Sure,
okay. We can
hardcore,
totally
sure,
play it on
sure.
the radio.
As long as there's no swearing.
Listen, we play everything in this show.
You were talking to Brandon Malowski for a while, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
And he was loving it.
Oh,
Eating it up.
He was. I bet he was. He's a Malowski. Of course he was eating it up.
You know the Malowskis too?
I do. I'm very good friends with them. I've been over their house many a time to play some music.
Oh, nice. So you're from Herkimer?
No, I'm from Frankfurt.
Oh, nice. So,
but I'm well
from the
acquainted with
valley.
the Malowskis and everyone. Yes.
Yeah.
Because of the valley.
Yeah, nice. So you went to Herkimer. Where did you go to school after that?
No, right now I'm actually taking a semester off. I'm working 2 jobs,
Nice.
saving up some money, and I'm going to go back to Utica College.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, my brother's going to Utica College.
For what?
Oh, he's a English major, going to be
Really?
a teacher.
Very nice.
Soon to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So, what are you planning on studying at Utica when you go there?
I would like to do something with social work, but I'm not sure exactly if they offer that. So I believe that I'm going to have to do something with criminal justice.
Did you take any classes here, or even do any curriculars in the RTV department? Did you have a radio show or something?
No, but like I said, we were involved. I hung out with her, with Haley quite a bit, and I was a bit involved. I was up in this room more often than not, just because of her, and I had to I had to help her edit the music video and stuff like that. And we did that twice. We shot 2 music videos, one down in the TV studio, and then there was a couple different shots that we took. One at this building in Frankfurt where I live, and then in a building in JH right over here.
Oh, nice. So now, up until now, I've only interviewed people who have been in the communication arts majors, and so can you tell us about your major, the social science major, and that experience at Herkimer?
Yeah, what brought you for the Herkimer? You rarely hear it. It's mostly radio, TV.
Yeah,
All
but
the people that you interview are just mostly for that.
from communication arts. So I want to know, what's your experience outside of communication arts in a totally different major here at Herkimer?
Just as a former student here, what I gained from it, I don't know. I loved my stay here. I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun. I loved my major. I'm happy with what I chose because though I love music and everything, it is a bit difficult to do stuff with that. Plus, I don't know how to read music or anything like that. So I was kind of like, oh, whatever. I'll do something else that I enjoy. I like psychology and stuff like that. So I took a lot of psych classes and other things. Sociology. You know your typical social sciences classes. But yeah, I was happy that I took that. All my teachers were great.
Oh yeah.
I
still in the social science department, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, here at Herkimer we have great teachers all over the place. You know.
I would like to honorable mention to Jane Very. She was probably my favorite teacher. I don't know what you guys are. I'm assuming.
I don't have. Yeah, I don't have Jane Very.
Though I did have Robert Gassmann for my freshman seminar course. that was interesting, and that's actually how Haley and I met. That was fun.
So what do you think of Robert Gassmann?
Robert Gassmann's a character.
That's what everyone thinks of him.
I love his hand motions when he speaks, and I think that he has an excellent finesse with the way that he speaks. And
it's a very fluid motion.
There he is. There he is, right there.
Right, there's Robert Gassmann.
There he is.
Are we being eavesdropped by HCTV? Let's bring Robert Gassmann in here.
That's okay. Well,
he just walked by the studio. Come on in, Robert. Come on. Or Mr. Gassmann. I should say. I gotta focus. Oh, okay.
He's in the middle of something important.
Wait. He's focusing. That means that he knows we're out of focus. So that means that we're on TV.
Hey.
we're etching around there.
So you say you had Mr. Gassmann here. And
just for freshman seminar.
Yeah, just for freshman.
Like I said, I'm not a radio TV major or anything like that, but.
Yeah, I'm very upset that I just realized this now.
Oh, it's excellent.
We all love Mr. Gassmann.
For the class.
And we'd love him more if he came in for an interview.
He conveys
We would love
emotion
Mr. Gassmann so much.
There he is.
Hi, Mr. Gassmann.
Hi, how are you, Mr. Lanza?
I'm sorry. What's your last name?
Lanza.
Do you have brothers?
Yeah, James, John, and Josh.
I love John. John is my man. He's a great guy.
Wow, it's like
Johnny Stacks.
It's like a homecoming here.
Oh, absolutely. That's what this whole thing is. It's a big homecoming for all the alumni.
And big props to Doug Flanagan, who is the mastermind behind the HCTV Takeover.
Yes. Absolutely. So, Mr. Flanagan, our first.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Bob.com.
Yeah. I'm co-owner.
CFO.
So
I'm just a member.
Wait, what?
So, Professor Gassmann.
Hey.
How long have you been a teacher here at Herkimer?
Is this really the stuff of the interview that you're conducting live on the radio right now? Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I kind of want to know.
I don't know if the folks at home are watching or anybody's been listening. One of the very first guests tonight was Genesee Joe Trisellino from 92.7 The Drive.
Mm-hmm.
He and I we shared our very same classroom the very first day I was teaching. First day I taught here at Herkimer College, August 26th, 1990.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the day Stevie Ray Vaughan died. And we were both big Stevie Ray Vaughan fans, so we came into the classroom and just shared our mutual devastation. It was really extremely emotional. It really was. So I made a friend that day because we were both obviously very moved by that horrific event.
Well, that's really cool and really
Man was at
depressing
the top
at the same time.
Yeah, 1990. This is year 26.
Wow, 20
years old.
So 26 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of experience.
Yeah, somewhere out there on the internet, there's gone viral a picture of me from about 24 years ago when I had hair and I kind of had like young man good looks. Oh no, here you go. Here it goes.
Rob,
you just have to take my word for it. So,
mm-hmm.
Central New York has been very good to me, and so has Herkimer County Community College. It's been a fantastic place to work, and I feel very, very lucky every single day I come into work, and that's the truth.
Well, you know what? We feel very lucky that we have you as teacher, even though I personally don't have you as teacher, but I might.
No,
I
who
think
knows?
I do
Maybe
next
it'll happen,
semester.
you know?
I think I do next semester, actually.
Are you
So-
taking intro to audio?
Yes, I am.
Wow, and they turn you loose on this stuff without having taken that class first?
Yeah, but we were talking about that, Herkimer. I just walked in here and said, "Hey, can I have a radio show?" And Mr. Jedice was like, "Sure."
Put on these headphones. Don't say any bad words.
Essentially, yeah, and I love that about this is you can just walk in and have hands-on experience from day one, pretty much.
You know, that's one of the things we always say to prospective students, and it's something that they would know only if they didn't come here. Because did you actually find this? Oh, that's not it. That's a much older picture from.
That was you, though.
Well, I was in the middle of having a rough life back then that year.
Oh.
But I used to have a good life, and I have it once again. So it's
That's
you
awesome.
know, it's cycle. It really
That's
is.
right.
Very cyclic. I got to get back down
So,
and do some
thanks
work.
for
It's been
coming
great
in,
to see you
Mr.
guys.
Gassmann.
So, I don't know if we're still on the air anymore, but hey.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, nice to see you, Bob.
Always.
Bob, Roberto,
Yep.
everybody. Haley, thanks for coming.
I also have to get going.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, back to our regularly scheduled radio show for the next 21 minutes.
I just got shocked touching the microphone. This is shocking. Don't you want to do this? Are we still doing this? Is this a thing?
Yes, our turntable is a thing. It certainly is. So,
Don't worry, everything's fine. I'm alive.
so now Roberto was reading off of this.
Oh,
I think we've totally scrapped the idea
I
of the
know.
dartboard this time.
Yep.
He was just reading. Yeah, so we're just going to pick a random vinyl. That's what these things are called.
Yeah, then big
He
CDs.
was
That's
just
what I
trying
call
to read
them.
off of this German thing. It's called Mozart Flotenkonzert.
Oh my
Concert.
goodness gracious! I did not get that. I was
Whatever.
like,
Floten.
Flutengeben. I was like,
Flutengeben.
I was stealing the beginning of like a pretty fly for a white guy.
Yes.
I was like, am I saying this right? No. Okay, sure.
It means flute concerto.
I'll take your word for it, man. At this
So-
point, everything's hit me. I don't know what's happening.
Anyways, so I really hate to play this. This has actually never been played. I found this in my
Don't you take
grandma's...
its virginity.
Okay, then.
You can say that.
I have found this in my grandmother's phonograph, and it's never been played.
Never.
So we are going to play for you the allegro portion of this flute concerto on our turntable in vinyl.
Let's get that rolling. Keep in mind, if it's all German, we're screwed. I think they'll have
There
to.
aren't any lyrics
Oh.
in classical music. Oh, you're right.
You've been watching a live feed from Herkimer College's campus radio station, WVHC 91.5 FM. That was our own Communication Arts Radio Television Broadcasting student, Eric Lanza, live on the air. I'm Jackson, and welcome back to the studio here on our HCTV Takeover show. We're highlighting the Communication Arts programs here at Herkimer College. And you just got a chance to listen to our FCC-licensed college radio station. Another program we want to draw your attention to is the Communication Arts New Media program offered here at Herkimer. Melissa Kroll is there with more details. Melissa?
That's right, thanks, Jack. We're here with Assistant Professor Blake Pitcher, along with Communication Arts New Media graduate Kevin Montano. Thank you both so much for joining us tonight. And Kevin, it's nice having you here too, because we both graduated in the same class. So
it's like a little reunion.
yeah, a little bit. So I guess let's just start this off. What exactly is the New Media program all about?
Sure. Well, the New Media program is great for students interested in both writing and design, but also who are really into technology, the internet, the web, and it kind of brings all those aspects together. So I think students with those interests, like Kevin, who was in the program, will really thrive in that environment.
Yeah, that was one of the great benefits of the ComArts New Media program, was that it exposed me to a lot of different things. I wasn't just taking classes in video production. I was taking classes in still photography, taking classes in design, learning so many different things where I can go to a potential employer. I can walk into my classes Utica College now and say, yes, I have done that. I've worked in Adobe InDesign, in Adobe Illustrator. I know how to use Photoshop to retouch. I know a lot of different skills, and I may not have perfected them to it, even though I'm kind of a perfectionist with things. I've gotten my feet wet with a lot of different things, which is really cool. You can't do that in a lot of programs. A lot of programs try to specialize you, but that really gives you an exposure to a lot of different things.
Yeah, you get to try a little bit of everything. And I know Kevin just named off some of the programs, but I'm sure the list goes on. Can you name a few more?
Sure. Well, there's a lot, like you said, there's layout programs like InDesign, photo editing programs like Photoshop, just web design skills like HTML, CSS, but really, as Kevin was talking about, you get into these jobs and they're looking for someone who can wear a lot of hats because things change so quickly. So someone who is good at a lot of different things and is willing to learn quickly is really very well suited for a lot of new media jobs today in a lot of different areas.
And those programs are the industry standard, correct?
Yes, we use all the most current Adobe programs, but beyond the programs, it's really what you can do with the programs. It's the design skills you have, the basic writing and design skills that you have, because the programs will change, but those core skills behind them will always be there for you.
Now there's a few more things I want to talk about, but before we get to them, you've got the Phaethon, the 2015 edition, sitting right here. What exactly is the Phaethon?
Well, the Phaethon is a long-running publication at Herkimer College, and we brought it back a couple years ago, and Kevin was actually one of our visual editors for that issue. And I'm really proud of the work we did for bringing it back, and it got a lot of attention. And our newest issue, actually, that we released in 2015, this year, we won some awards from the Community College Humanities Association, national awards. It got, for our division, best overall, second place best overall publication, first place for a short story, first place for artwork, and third place for another piece of artwork. So
really
it's just a really nicely done issue, and I'm proud of all the new media majors that worked on it to bring it back.
That's got to feel so amazing, being the professor of this major and having it win national awards. I mean, that's really incredible.
Yeah. And it's really a collaborative effort. We had people from different majors, advisors, English professors like Matthew Powers and Andrew Devitt, people from fine arts, photographic technology. So it's a really nice kind of culmination of a lot of different areas.
Wow, that's great. Now, Kevin, I want to move my attention to you because Kevin has some pretty exciting news if you want to share.
So I just accepted a position this week with WKTV News Channel 2 in Utica as a weekend multimedia journalist. So I'll be working weekends there, shooting, editing, reporting, and applying a lot of the skills I learned here at Herkimer that I'm continuing to learn at Utica College with being able to write for broadcasts, but write for the web, do social media. It's going to be really fun. I spent the last couple of days training with some of their staff and getting my feet wet in it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I mean, what do you have to say about that, having a former student make it?
Whenever a student lands a job in the industry, it's amazing. Our students have had a lot of success, like Kevin. We have graduates working at the Stanley Theater, ConMed locally. Now we have one at WKTV. I just think it's amazing, and it's great to see what our graduates are doing.
Shouldn't it be surprising though, right? Here at Herkimer College, all the success we've been having, success is in the air.
I'm always amazed at the quality of students that we get in our programs.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming up tonight. We really appreciate it. And it was fun to learn more about the Communication Arts New Media program. And of course, if you want to learn more about any of the programs we're talking about tonight, you can always check out www.herkimer.edu/learn/communicationarts. Up next, we're going to check back in with our remote live crew. Cody Mooney is standing by in one of the audio production suites here at Herkimer. We got a little bit of everything here. You're watching the HCTV Takeover live from Herkimer College. Stay with us.
Thank you, Marissa. I am down here at Herkimer College in Studio Carol A, and with me I have Taylor Whitney and Megan Bright, two fantastic music industry students, and of course, Professor of Communication Arts, Kalman Sokoloff. It's great to have you guys here today. And let me start off with you, Taylor. What is it like being a music industry student here at Herkimer?
It's very inspiring to be here around other peers and students that are just as passionate about music as you are, and to come to a place, a community college even, that how it was, and having these studios with state-of-the-art equipment available to you is very, very easy to get your hands on, very easy to learn, very easy to create.
And Megan, with you, would you say the same? If anything, what is it like to be a music industry student here at Herkimer?
It's awesome. Probably exactly what Taylor said, but personally, my favorite part about the program is learning about the copyright law and, record contracts, because as a performer, it's really helpful to know, where to sign, where not to sign, because you can really mess up your career if you sign in the wrong place.
Right, and that's awesome. And we have two fantastic students here. Where do you guys see yourself being in this industry within the next 5 years?
Well, I would love to be working at a studio, obviously, and like Megan said, with the knowledge that we have about the industry and about the business, I can realistically see myself taking what I've learned here and applying it to, maybe my own business or working freelance and producing, so.
Well, Taylor, I know you have a bright future ahead of you. Good luck with that. And Megan, where do you see yourself being in 5 years?
Hopefully in New York City. I'm more of a performer, kind of like theater, so hopefully, theater.
Well, that's awesome. You look like a theater person. You're going to do great with it. And Mr. Sokoloff, Professor Kalman Sokoloff, we have a big project going on here within the next 4 weeks. Studio Carol. This Studio Carol right here is going over a $20,000 upgrade. Is that correct?
That is correct. We were given a grant from the Perkins Vocational Educational Grant from the federal government to be able to purchase a new Pro Tools, we're so excited, a Pro Tools 12 system, not just the software, but the hardware as well. We're going to get a new computer, new inputs and outputs. We're going to get new monitors for the students to see what they're doing while they're working with it. We're going to completely redo the room.
And that is a great upgrade that this school is going to go into. What is that going to do for the students?
First of all, it's going to give them current technology, because Pro Tools 12 is what is out there. If you were to go into one of the suppliers and say, I want your most up-to-date Pro Tools system, that's what they would give you. So the students have the knowledge of actual industry equipment, and we can teach them actual techniques on the equipment they'd be using out there in the field.
And with Pro Tools itself, it is a very, very great software. And these kids right here, Taylor and Megan both, they're using it. How is that going to benefit them using that going into the real world in the industry?
Because if you're going to look for a job and you go in and they say, well, do you know this software? You say, well, I've heard about it. That's not going to do the trick. One of the things we do here is we give our students hands-on equipment with the tools they'd be using in the industry, so that when they get to the industry, they're there already. And they know what they're doing, they know how to do it. One of the things about working with students like this is they come in, they know, I teach a class in music production. They know what they want to do. They have the ideas already. My job is to help them realize it and to get it to that next step.
Right, and that is certainly, and I know you and other professors in this field are helping Megan and Taylor along the process. Professor Kalman Sokoloff, Megan Bright, and Taylor Whitney. And it was great having you guys here today. I hope you had a great time. And Marissa, we're going to send it back to you in the studio. Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. We want to catch you up with another communication arts radio TV broadcasting graduate now. Leisha Maytan got some early experience here at Herkimer as part of the HCTV news crew. These days, she's a producer in the #1 market in the nation, New York City, for New York One Cable News. I had the chance to speak with Leisha at a Herkimer Community College Foundation event in New York City. She talked about her time at Herkimer and also about supporting the Alumni Foundation here at Herkimer.
Technically, I'm a news assistant at New York One, which translates into field producer. I get to do a lot of cool things. I have access to a lot of interesting people. I've followed politicians on the campaign trail, celebs at New York Fashion Week, Hurricane Sandy, which was probably the, a very rewarding experience as a journalist, but also in my young career, the most trying and most difficult experience. I like to tell people that I do it all, from shooting, writing, reporting, editing. I just don't get much of the credit. That's what I tell people.
How would you say Herkimer prepared you for what you're doing now with New York One?
I mean, from day one at Herkimer, I met obviously Mr. Flanagan and Mr. Gassmann and Mrs. Carroll and Mr. Sokoloff. I mean, the whole crew. I mean, everybody there was just so warm and welcoming, and I think the second that I walked into the studio, I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm meant to do. And I mean, they helped us every step of the way. I really don't think that without my 2 years at Herkimer that I would really have a clue what I was doing at the next step. I feel like I was way ahead of the game.
That's something that a lot of students tend to bring up about Herkimer College when they reflect on their time there in the radio television program or digital filmmaking, is they got to use the equipment and they got to try out what they wanted to do and find out if that is what they want to do or not. And for you, it clearly worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did it all, and I got to use the best equipment and use the best software and really master it, and it helps me every other step of the way.
Now, coming here to Keno Auctions today for the alumni gathering, the first of its kind put on by the Herkimer County College Foundation. What do you think of it so far?
I mean, it's good. I don't know a lot of people here, but I guess that's the whole point of coming to these things. I actually think this is like my first networking event of all of the schools that I've gone to. I think it's important that we do things like these. I am even surprised to see how many people are here, how many Herkimer grads are in New York. So it's good to know that if I need to reach out to somebody, got a connection probably. It's important to, again, make those connections, support the people who supported you, I mean, this business that I'm in certainly is all about networking, and this is a great opportunity for that. Giving back to the foundation makes sure that other young people who have dreams, or maybe they're not quite sure what their dream is yet, make sure that they have the opportunity to pursue whatever path they want. And I think Herkimer really lets people take whichever path they want and succeed.
Leisha is continuing the pursuit of her career in New York City, but she also tries to get home to upstate New York as often as she can. While there are only a few of us here tonight that were involved in the very first HCTV Takeover show 2 years ago, I was, Joe Trizzolino was, Haley Kromick was, our assistant director Molly Pardee was, Mike Pileggi was, and so was our next guest. Bridget Roberts introduces us to him again next. Stay tuned, you're watching the HCTV Takeover live from the campus of Herkimer College.
I'm Bridget Roberts, and yes, Melissa was right. Mark Baracco was a guest 2 years ago on the first Takeover show. And well, a lot has happened with Mark since then, correct?
Yes, that's right. 2 years ago, I was a student at SUNY Polytech, and then the next thing I knew, I decided to jump into a career in production. Started working as a production assistant for Major League Soccer, and then lo and behold, a year later, I got an offer to become a multimedia journalist at WUTR, and I've been there since January of this year.
All right, now I know that over at WUTR, you not only anchor, but you also produce. How did your time at Herkimer College introduce you to all facets of media?
Well, I think first and foremost, sometimes you get thrown into certain situations, and that was definitely something that I learned here at the college, is sometimes somebody needs an extra hand with something, you know, you just kind of do the best you can, jump in, and there you have it. But producing-wise, we did a lot of that at the college, a lot of shows that we produced, whether they were sports, music, entertainment related, we always had somebody working, so I was just kind of doing my best to put that together, and it's definitely given me tremendous experience. Being at the college and translating over to news, very similar, so you get a lot of experience here that definitely I'll keep with me for the rest of my life.
And Mark, I know that you went to the New York Conservatory for the Fine Arts. How did your background in acting help you for your on-camera work?
It certainly goes a long way. I think, again, when you have a live audience in front of you every night, you need to be able to deliver effectively good communication skills. And so I think it just got me kind of loose being around the camera. You know, you just kind of try and do the best you can in terms of fronting a package, being out in the fields. You know, you always want to try and make sure that you're setting the stage and telling a story. And so I think having that background definitely led to pretty good career in news so far.
And Mark, I have to ask this. Austin Fontanella asked me to ask you this. How did you get the nickname Mark the Shark?
Well, Austin Fontanella is certainly a guy who likes to think he's very funny and is on certain occasions, but I guess Shark came from something that he derived, and now all I see is Snapchats that I get sent when I'm trying to produce the show a lot of the time, where there's a fin sticking out of my neck. So you just take your nickname and run with it. It could be a lot worse, so we'll just leave it at that.
All right, well, you can tune in to see Mark on Eyewitness News on WUTR and WFXV. And when you see him, it might just be me behind the camera, too. We're going to stick with a news theme for now. Patrick Malowski has a few guests up next who are both involved in broadcast news operations. You're watching the HCTV Takeover, live from Herkimer College.
Let me tell you something. I'm a lucky guy. I get to interview Kate Rano, who right now is an associate news producer at WTEN in Albany. And this man right here is Joshua Barkley Martin is his middle name. He's a reporter for WBNG in Binghamton. And now both of you got your start at Herkimer. Then both of you went to Oswego. I was
with you.
With
Yeah.
me, yes. So I know these two very well. So this is a dream come true getting to interview them. So I'm going to start you off really quick. You know, this place obviously helped us out getting our jobs. There's no doubt about that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Go ahead, Kate. You start. We'll start with Kate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I learned so much here. It really was the basis for my learning. And I think Oswego really built on it. But here, like freshman year, you just get a camera dropped in your hands, and they just start you from the ground up. And it's such a great experience. You really learn a lot.
It is an amazing experience, and Josh, you and I can talk about that.
Absolutely.
Literally, day one, here's a camera, kid, go.
I'll never forget our first assignment. We were given a camera the first day, and they said, go shoot 3 different shots and edit them in a sequence that makes sense. And you learn how to coil a cable, you learn how to be in the studio. Here is where I really developed my drive for what I wanted to do. And here at Herkimer College, I was given unlimited tools to go out and do it.
And one thing we are all familiar with now, when it was here, it was a little more slow-paced, the news cycle. And we were sitting here, you have a newscast, and you're 5 hours away from a newscast, or a day before, and you're sitting here, oh, I'm sweating, this is going to be tough. Now, we're, 10 minutes before a newscast, and we're like, oh, sweet, I have 10 minutes left. Talk about how fast that news cycle is now that we're in the, in the world of news.
Well, it's funny, we were just joking off camera. We were told by our wonderful director, Doug Flanagan, hey, guys, 2 minutes. And 2 minutes is nothing, but in the fast-paced news in the fast-paced world of news, it's crazy. And being here really helped me, get an idea of equipment and everything else, how I can do things quickly, and more importantly, it gave me an idea of some management. This program that we're putting on now is just unbelievable, and it really teaches
so much
kids.
Going on.
It teaches kids how much work goes into stuff like this, and how much time and preparation, even down to the smallest detail.
And I'm going to talk to you about this because I know you're pretty new. You've been there about 4 weeks at your job now.
Yep, about 4 weeks.
And so no one knows the learning curve of a new job more than someone who's going through it at the time. And tell me, in these 4 weeks, I'm sure you're learning a lot as far as the new systems that you're dealing with.
Right.
How has Herkimer helped you with that learning curve?
Oh gosh, like I said, it's just you get thrown in and you just automatically start picking things up, and people are there to help you. And I think it's the same thing. I think, sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, I think it's the same thing, is that you're learning so much here at Herkimer. You're learning a lot. For me, I'm learning a lot right now, just being 4 weeks new, and you learn how to take it all in at Herkimer.
One thing I didn't learn was having you call that facial hair, Mr. Martin?
Yes, I do. I want a shameless plug here. WBNG, we're doing a big 5K No Shave November for prostate cancer. Anybody, if you're doing No Shave November, just donate to prostate cancer. Donate to anybody that's helping out with that. That's why I don't normally look this old and kind of scruffy.
Stop touching your facial hair on the inside. Thank you. And that shows you're part of the community when you work at a news station. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining me very much. And I'm going to toss it over to Jack Sen right now. Jack?
In their final semester in the program here at Herkimer College, Communication Arts digital filmmaking students get to create their very own short film. It's a very involved process that takes them from early concepts such as pre-production, shooting, editing, and final mastering. We're going to take a look at one such project next. This is Zachary Stolk's short film, The Missing Piece.